The cowgirls of the West in rare photographs.
Before anyone ever heard the word cowgirl, there were women who ventured west. Most traveled with their families on covered wagons, beginning in the 1840s. They moved from crowded eastern cities to settle in western states such as Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. Some wagon trains eventually went even farther, to California, Oregon, Idaho, and Washington. Though men by far outnumbered women in the early years, by 1870, there were 172,00 women over the age of 20 out west, compared to 385,00 men. In 1840, pioneer Sally Skull was one of the first women in Texas to own her own ranch, the Circle S, which she stocked with wild horses and cattle she brought across the border from Mexico. Her nickname was Mustang Jan, and her horse's name was Redbuck. Wearing men's clothing, she drove freight wagons from Texas to Mexico during the Civil War. A marker in her memory states that she was a sure shot with the rifle she carried on her saddle or the two pistols strapped to her waist. A few women pioneers pretended to be men so they could live like cowboys. In 1867, Jo Monahan traveled west by herself from Buffalo, New York. To reach her destination safely, she donned a pair of pants, a vest, and a hat, and passed herself off as a man. After settling down in Idaho, she found she liked doing ranch work, in part enjoying male privileges such as voting, and in part fearing the consequences of revealing her true identity. She kept her disguise. Only upon Jo's death in 1904 was it discovered that she had pretended to be a man. By the 1890s, barbed wire fencing was also standard in the northern plains, railroads had expanded to cover most of the nation, and meatpacking plants were built closer to major ranching areas, making long cattle drives from Texas to the railheads in Kansas unnecessary. Hence, the age of the open range was gone and large cattle drives were over. Since the closing of the prairie in the early 1900s, the term has come to refer to anyone who works on a ranch or takes part in traditional demonstrations of cowboy skills, known as rodeos.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel.